Kia ora, day 17. Okay, so I have a technique to share with you, which is really good if you have what we call the male subtype of RJ, which applies equally to females. Females get the male type, and males get the female type. But this is where the focus is around sex, and particularly things like one night stands and things like that. This is a little technique that you can practice. It's not my own technique. This was shared with me by somebody on a forum years ago, and I can't remember who it was that shared that. So, which is a shame. I always like to credit people. So whoever it was that came up with that, thank you very much. I find it helpful in my recovery, and you might find it helpful in yours. Now, if you find this distressing or upsetting, if it makes your symptoms worse, then stop doing it. It's something that in that situation I'd recommend doing it with a therapist, doing that kind of work with a therapist. But this is an exercise you can do on your own if you can do it in a way that doesn't create. So if it creates a lot of anxiety symptoms, racing heart, sweating, if it makes you go pale, anything like that, then stop. This isn't something that's going to work for you right now. Okay, but it's a very simple visualization technique in which you visualize your partner's sexual behavior being much more extreme than your understanding of what it was. And I mean really extreme. What you have to do is visualize it, exaggerate it to the max. Okay, so this is why you have to be careful with this, and if it triggers any of those kinds of symptoms, then like I say, stop, and then maybe come back to it in future or consult with a professional who can kind of take you through this technique safely. So we don't want to put anyone in an unpleasant situation. Okay. So what you do, imagine your partner doing, all kinds of extreme sex with all kinds of extreme people, with kind of complete strangers, and with, I don't want to kind of put too many ideas into your head, but you take it to an absurd degree. Okay. Don't just exaggerate it a little bit, and don't visualize anything that was close to what that happened. So, for example, imagine your partner in a crowd situation, maybe like I want to put some suggestions into your head, but I don't want to be too prescriptive. So an example would be maybe like some kind of public event, like a children's Christmas parade where there's a big crowd and your partner is having group sex with strangers in that situation, multiple strangers, in a public place, and the people that they're choosing as partners are either kind of elderly and toothless and foul smelling, really unattractive kind of people. I don't want to say too much. I want you to do this, but the warning is, okay, so A, stop if you get any of those anxiety symptoms, and B, exaggerate it to the max. Don't exaggerate it a little bit, and don't base it on anything that take it to the nth degree. Okay, so like I say, public place, multiple partners, really unsuitable partners, really inappropriate sexual practices that are beyond imagination. Absolute to the max. Okay, if you've got any concerns about this, then don't do it. Okay, and if you've got any questions, let me know. But consider it if you do have that male type, or the combined type. So you got basically there's kind of three types. I think Zachary Sokol was probably the first person to kind of come up with this idea that you get the male type, retracted jealousy, which is more focused around sex. You get the female type, which is more focused around relationships, and the combined type where it's both. And you could be any combination, regardless of your gender. You could have any type. But this is for people that have combined all the male type. If you just got the female type, then don't do this. It's not gonna help you. So give it a try. Be gentle with yourself. Obviously, you have to do it several times. It helps keep us a bit of a sense of humour as well. It helps us to not take this technique too seriously, to visualise it and kind of see the absurdity and see the humour in it as well. But it can be quite useful. It's not for everyone, every situation, but think about whether this might be useful for you. And that's your task for day 17. Rangi Mario.